Greetings, fellow environmentalists and mindset changers. Today we're talking about the KAZA TCA, Kavango-Zambezi Transboundary or Transfrontier Conservation Area, which is the largest land-based conservation area in the world. It covers about 520,000 square kilometers. It's called a transboundary or transfrontier conservation area because it cuts across the boundaries of 5 countries: Zambia, Zimbabwe, Botswana, Namibia, and Angola. Why did these 5 countries come together and earmark this particular area for conservation? Because this is an area in which you get some of the most unique wildlife species we have in the world. It's an area where you get some of our most pristine ecosystems. This is an area that's got hundreds of thousands of elephants. The largest elephant population is found in the KAZA. And this elephant population and wildlife population in general is free to roam across the boundaries using what we refer to as wildlife corridors or elephant corridors. And that's one of the reasons why, as conservationists, as environmentalists, as people that care about nature, we should fight for these corridors to remain free for these animals to move freely. When we put electric fences, when we build infrastructure on these corridors, we block their free passage, and that has consequences. They become stressed and they roam away into human settlements. When they roam into human settlements, what you end up having is human-wildlife conflict. You end up having people killing wildlife. You end up having wildlife attacking and killing people. We don't want that conflict. We want to preserve our lives, and we also want to preserve this wildlife because it's a treasure, a regional treasure. Each nation can refer to it as a national treasure, but collectively it's a regional treasure that we must cherish. So it's in our interest to make sure that whatever kind of development we promote is sustainable development. On a global platform, we've been talking about sustainable development since 1992. And this is because we realize that development that is not controlled will damage nature, will damage our planet. And if we damage nature and our planet, we damage ourselves. We put humanity at risk. So when we talk about development, even in the tourism sector, we need to put up infrastructure in places where we know wildlife will not be disturbed. Their corridors will not be blocked. That's an important thing for us to do. Preserving the KAZA conservation area is also important because it's a way of preserving the river basins of 2 major rivers, the Kavango and Zambezi rivers. If you do not preserve river basins, if you do not preserve these water catchment areas, the quantity of water captured by these ecosystems that ends up in the rivers reduces. Essentially, the rivers begin to die. If the water quantities begin to reduce, the river is on its path to death. And right now, with this massive drought we're having, we're actually experiencing the consequences of us degrading our ecosystems. You see, forests and woodlands are important because they are part of the rainwater cycle. The moment you lose trees, you disturb the rainwater cycle. You disturb the ability of these ecosystems to collect water and bring it to the rivers. And when you have less water coming into the rivers, you have less water accumulating in the dams and less power being generated through the hydroelectric system. Less power means load shedding. I do not even need to go into details on the consequences of load shedding. We've had that this year to a point where you only have 2 to 3 hours of power each day. So we need to take responsibility for causing this problem. We shouldn't just say it's caused by a climate change induced drought. No, climate change is caused by our human activities. It is us that are cutting down trees because we want to make charcoal. It is us who are cutting down trees because we want to log timber illegally. It is us that are cutting down trees because we want to build in these ecosystems. We're encroaching into protected areas. And that has